Hello, this is the third video on research writing, and here we'll be talking about starting your chapter 1. Now, don't forget the topic, it's on retention, recruiting, on um, okay, let me go back to check. All right, relationship between recruitment, retention, and selection and talent retention, a mediating role of dynamic work environments, blah blah blah. Okay, so relationship between recruitment, selection, and talent management. So um, in this topic, talent retention is our dependent variable, and recruitment selection is independent variable. Now, a mediating variable is dynamic work environment. So, the mediating variable makes your work interesting. It makes it different from other people's work, which is just straightforward. So what's a mediating variable? Just like the name mediating, it mediates between the independent variables and the dependent variables. We say, okay, this dynamic work environment is serving as a mediating variable. Um, it is truly a mediating variable if a relationship is established between recruitment and mediating variable, recruitment and talent retention. Then we can say dynamic work environment is mediates between recruitment and talent retention. Remember I said when a relationship is established, it could be causal relationship or just a correlation trend relationship um, between recruitment and dynamic work environment and retention, and then recruitment and retention. Then we say it's a mediating variable. The same way um, between selection and retention is dynamic work environment a mediating variable. It is if a relationship can be established between dynamic work environment and selection, dynamic work environment and talent retention, then selection on talent retention. If those relationships can be established, then we can truly say that it plays a mediating role between them. Alright, so let's go back to chapter 1. In our chapter 1, we'll be focusing on the independent variables, that's recruitment and selection, and then the mediating variable is also a type of independent variable. All right, so we'll just give a chapter, a paragraph for talent retention, which is the um, which is the dependent variable. So I have not talked about pasting your table of contents when you are done. um, so you can just come to table of contents under references, and then select automatic table 2 or any other one you prefer, then it comes up. The same way for table of figures. If you are bringing in the table of figures, the list of tables or the list of figures, you select them, anyone you want, you select and you paste it. Okay, so I'm not trying to um, repost another one. Okay, I think I already did, so I'm going to do Control Z. All right, so let's go back to chapter 1. So the first thing you do is scope and rationale. Some call it background of study, some call it introduction. So you give a background of what you are talking about. If possible, the what was the meaning? Not really definition, but to just talk about retention. Not retention, recruitment and selection. Don't forget the independent variables, recruitment and selection. So you talk about recruitment and selection. Um, you know, let me see. You can see here it's about recruitment and selection. Then at the end you tie it up, with retention. Now that's about that. So about um, 1 or 2 pages, or let's say 2 pages is okay for your introduction. While the next thing you do is statement of the problem. Statement of the problem, you start giving facts. Why are you considering this topic? Why is this a problem? Why is retention a problem? Is is recruitment and selection a problem? Then most likely retention should be the problem. How people have been um, how people have been living, you know, the rate of attrition rate, turnover rates of employees in in that sector or in that particular company, you know, or in among those class of employees. You know, you start giving different statistics. And also the kind of problem could also be that you have um, okay, yeah, basically you can just do that. Why is it a problem? How is it a problem? You put it here. You use you use you use you cite literature or white paper. White paper meaning organizations organization publications, reputable ones like the United Nations, WHO, and so on. You can cite them here. How there has been lack or lag in this area of interest. All right. Then the third one, research aim and objectives. So you can see here we have a broad aim. The aim of this study will be to investigate blah blah blah. Then the objective of this study are as follows. We now split it individually. Understand the effect of recruitment selection on talent retention, blah blah blah. Then now we have the research questions. What effect does, you know, I told you you shouldn't have a yes or no response. Here it's just here that we have what effect. Is there a significant effect of dynamic work environment? So this could be answered by yes or no. It's not really a great research question. Does recruitment and selection, this can also be answered by yes or no. It's not a great research question. Just the first one is a great is a good research question. All right. Then we have the research hypothesis. So majorly, most times you have the same number of research objectives and research questions. You know, so the first one is understand the effect of recruitment selection on talent management. And here, what does recruitment and selection have on retention of Gen Z in Nigeria? What effect? So you can see they correspond. The first objective, the first research questions, the second objective, the second research questions, and so on. So the same thing here. The first, second, and third research hypothesis too. So for hypothesis, there are two. We have null and alternates. Most times you state the null hypothesis, and it's a statement of facts that we want to be tested. A statistical statement that needs to be tested. So here we say recruitment and selection has no significant effects. So we are saying, okay, let's even assume that there is none. Then we now go ahead with the study. We go ahead with the sample survey, collect data, then apply the statistical analysis, the inferential test. That is where we know whether to accept this or not. So I'm going to break it down. If okay, it is AFCON period, and we have we have an argument. Myself and someone couldn't we're like, okay, say okay, that was a good example. Let's just go ahead. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say with this. This is a good example. It's an actual work. So all right, the outline of dissertation. Okay, so this is quite an easy one. This is a very basic example of chapter 1. Then before going to chapter 2, the next video is going to be on chapter 2. Thank you.